Steve, my question for you is, what three questions should we be asking the governor candidates in the next election, drawing upon your experience in state government, drawing upon your message today? What are the three most important questions we should be asking the gubernatorial candidates?
Well, I was hoping for some tougher questions today, but let's just jump right into that. So David didn't mention it. I served as the Comptroller and Chief Financial Officer for the state of California. I ran for governor in 2006. I lost by 4 points. So I'm somewhat familiar with the concept of running for governor. I don't care what party you are, these are the three issues you ought to ask. Number one, our pensions are seriously out of balance. What will you do to make sure that California can maintain the solvency of our pension funds, because that is the single thing that most puts our budget at risk. I used to serve as the CFO of the state. When Gray Davis was removed from office, Governor Schwarzenegger came in and said, "Steve, how bad is it?" And I said, we had like 141 days before insolvency. And I just want you to ponder this. World's fifth largest economy, mismanaged budget, that can trigger a global recession. We are better than that, but our candidates need to speak to how they will make our pension funds solvent. They are 33% unfunded today at historic highs in the stock market. It could likely drop to under 50%. They must speak to that. It is a hard question to answer. I can answer it, but I'll do that later. Second, we must have accountability in our public schools. Over 40% of the state's budget goes to K through 12, but our schools do not compete effectively with the best schools in the world in Japan, South Korea, Singapore, and Finland. This is not a political issue. It is simply an issue of best practices. We need more accountability in our public schools. I am a huge fan of public schools, but until we raise the bar for our teachers and students, it is the entire educational process, it is hard to get the money we need to stay on top. Number three, we must invest in the infrastructure of the future. The single biggest return on taxpayer dollar comes on infrastructure. In the old days, we all knew what it looked like. Roads, bridges, airports, rail, they're important, and McKinsey will tell you exactly what the return is on each of those. But as we move into the future, we need elected officials that understand this stuff. We need to be investing in a digital highway, so that every Californian, including those who grew up in East LA and South Central LA, can take part in the global economy. We need to be talking about Hyperloop. We need to be talking about making autonomous vehicles part of the public infrastructure. We need to be investing in simple terms in the infrastructure of the future. And if you look at those fastest growing firms in the world, Tesla, Uber, every one of them except for one is California based. That's why we're the future. We just need a candidate for governor who understands that.